Get access to exclusive videos and more, and support the channel on patreon.com/manlightfoot.
Thought I'd change it up. Yeah? Well, Bo likes it. It's good to be back.
Why you got a hat on? 'Cause you're bald, nigga?
Nobody usually expects much good from a fifth installment in a movie franchise. Toy Story 5 is that exact film installment. The toys return with a new existential crisis when smart tech enters the scene. It's a franchise I've been with since I was a kid all the way to the first film. Being with it for so long, I would have expected myself not to get much out of it past the third film, but I'm one of those crazy folks that enjoyed the fourth film. Bite me. One day the world will see the light. And with there being contention on the fourth one, I'll admit a fifth one felt like they really were pushing past their luck. I'm not someone who thought they could really pull this off. Hell, technically Cars has more integrity for only having 3 movies so far. That's a gross thought to have, isn't it? I had my doubts about this film, but learning it was going to be more about Jesse definitely piqued my interest since Woody was gone after the events of the fourth film. Annoyingly, he's back here, but it's not bad, surprisingly, but I'll get to that. So, how does Pixar justify making even more of these movies? Well, the story follows the toys dealing with the smart tech era as their owner Bonnie struggles to make friends with every kid on smart pads. She's given a smart pad named LilyPad that can do more than toys by even letting Bonnie connect to other kids over the internet. This results in Bonnie spending less time playing and more time staring at a screen. So Jesse tries to get Bonnie to play more, but Lily's not having it. Now it's tech versus toys as Jesse has to find a way to help Bonnie break away from the screen.
Oh, brother!
Hearing that plot might get you thinking it would be a Ralph Breaks the Internet deal with it seeming like old people yelling at the clouds, but this movie actually has some nuance to it. Yeah, shocker. But to be honest, I was only a little doubtful since Toy Story 4 was good. Y'all are just me. Bonnie is the crux of the lesson here with her struggling to make friends. It's not that she's incompatible with anyone, it's just all the kids are stuck on the technology trend while she likes classic play. She's being pushed towards tech when she's clearly not ready for it, nor does she really need it other than to connect with other people. Hell, she becomes a zombie when she's stuck on that screen. It's sad that something that used to be so normal to her is now weird and looked down upon. Boy, ain't that the story of aging.
Cosmic.
Her story is a good one that doesn't try to sway her one way or the other, really. You truly feel for her since it wasn't that long ago for her that things made sense. Her story acts as a great warning sign of too much screen time that I think will ring loud for parents. This movie doesn't go in a preachy direction or feel like the old heads at Pixar trying to say something to the whippersnappers. It finds a nice balance of what's currently going on and finding a place for what came before. The toys are at odds with tech, but you don't feel like you're 100% on their side. It felt like a fine balancing act was going on with the old and new that becomes really potent and satisfying to see resolved by the end. It feels like an important message for parents and kids about growing up in this new age of tech without being preachy or talking down to anyone. With Jessie as the new leader, you see her arc is trying to fill in Woody's shoes is not too easy. It's a lot to take on, especially with a new era coming in and taking over her owner's life. Jessie was always a character I enjoyed a lot when she was first introduced, especially with the tragedy of her being abandoned by her owner, who hasn't had a crying session to her Emily montage. Her being the main focus was something I hoped the movie would take full advantage of, and they didn't disappoint. You get a feeling of someone whose time feels like it's coming to an end, and they're just holding on to the little bits remaining. That's been Toy Story's MO since the first one. So with Jessie, we're getting more of her place as a toy in an ever-changing world that doesn't know it still needs toys. They get great moments with Jessie, especially with her dealing with LilyPad. You kind of get reminded a little bit of how rough Jessie kind of can be when it comes to things. She's pretty quick to get mad and even start fighting and hitting things. I was a little surprised, and then I had to remember she did tackle the shit out of Woody before. Buzz partners up with Woody like always, but this time he's more the one in charge. Thank goodness, because my boy needed something after 4 kind of left him out to dry. He has his own problems that revolve around him wanting to say something to Jessie. Thank Rescuers Down Under for all y'all that know. I just don't want to spoil it for you. I do wish Buzz and Jessie had more time on screen together a little bit. The moments that they do have, though, do really work. They are very good moments. They could have just used more chemistry between them, that's all. Even though they've had well over 20 years to build it, so it depends on how you feel about these two. But with this movie, the way they are works with the story. I do enjoy it being more low stakes. Of course, it takes the same toys get separated plot they do in these films, but it's amazing how they find new ways to spin it. LilyPad is a unique addition to this Toy Story ethos. She comes on to the scene hot with the toys not liking how she makes Bonnie waste so much time looking at a screen. Hell, she even violates Jessie by calling her by a legal name.
Not touching, Jessica.
She's already aware of her job as a children's plaything, yet she's not resentful towards it. She's more about making sure Bonnie actually is having a good time with her tech. There's an attitude to her, but it doesn't come across as one of malice. This brings that nuance to the conversation that makes Jesse's contentions with Lily interesting. It's not a big story that reaches the scales of the last 4 movies, but it wraps up certain loose ends without needing to go too over the top. There's also a subplot involving a small army of buzzes that have Wi-Fi connectivity. I thought they were gonna just be a retread of the second movie, but by the end, they are probably one of the more potent parts of the film. Like, stay for the mid-credits, because the end of their story may be one of the nicest bows I've ever seen wrapped on a Pixar story. I really mean it. I thought they were going to bring the movie down, but no, they are more of a glue that holds finely connected pieces with this movie. There's also new colorful characters Jessie comes across that help her through her arc against the tech. They're older tech that have a bit of a resemblance of a toy. It's interesting how they find a way to create a fine line with new and older tech that keeps things focused with toys needing their time as well. Woody's back.
That's cool.
Look, he doesn't drag things down, but at the same time, it doesn't feel like he needed to be in it. He works more to help Buzz step up as the other in charge of Bonnie and her toys. He's not treated like a waste, but he probably could have been removed, and you probably could have got more from the film. And I'm saying that as someone who owned a lot of Woody toys, as well as Buzz Lightyear toys. We could have been getting more of Jessie and Buzz versus just Buzz and Woody, as we've already gotten. But as he is, he works. I can't avoid the animation any longer. God, does this look gorgeous. These movies go for realistic but stylish textures, but this one feels like they fully perfected it. There's these fine details to everything that makes you want to go over the frames with a microscope. I couldn't believe the textures on just Jessie's hat and her yarn hair alone. They also play around with style changes in this. You get moments where it really feels like you're in a dream or a child's imagination just coming up with a new story. They really do find a way to surprise me every time with each new movie. Even the jokes are pretty good in this. They go for more subtle visual humor that feels well thought out. And at the same time, they got shit that's just for dumb giggles. Buzz and horses will never not be a funny visual. Which also brings me to the crazy amount of callbacks is in this. They actually have a lot of subtle but fun callbacks to the franchise that don't feel too pandery. They feel more like a twist to certain moments or jokes from before, but more recontextualized. Toy Story 5 is not something anyone wanted, but I think is needed. Jessie taking on leadership is great for her arc following Emily. She's very compelling in her pursuit to make sure Bonnie is okay. Buzz is great in this and gets much needed redemption from the 4th movie. He acts as a great support in making sure things stay together. Woody acts as a good foil for Buzz and for him to really show that he can handle the job now that Woody's with Bo. They could have done without Woody in the movie ultimately, but he doesn't drag it down. Lily Pad is a great antagonist that keeps things fresh when it comes to the toys dealing with change. The message is potent and one where kids and parents are gonna connect really well. It gets across a point about the old and new that avoids being old people yelling at kids. The animation is another hit out of the park for Pixar with some new flair in the mix to keep things interesting. It's hard to believe that the 5th movie in this franchise can have some energy, but Toy Story 5 showed that the toys don't have to be put away just yet. Got an indie update for y'all. The 3 Tomes by Brie Animator, which I'm editing and sound designing for again, dropped their Kickstarter to fund episode 2. Tammy, Shirley, and Sia get more than they bargained for as they learn more about the 3 Tomes and the vampires that seek them. This episode is going to give you more spells to cast, more vampires to face/kiss, more romantic inks,
Fool this man!
more 4th thing. You know how y'all can't get enough of that 4th thing. Go over and show your support on the 3 Tomes episode 2 Kickstarter page to be ready when it drops. And also go support the 3 Tomes pilot over on Brie Animator's YouTube channel. Now on to the video.
No turning back.